So that Venom movie is weird. Apparently it's a Venom movie that doesn't include Spider-Man, and his origin is going to be drastically different, so make of that what you will. But there has been some back and forth discussion among many people in which direction they're going to take the character in. Now, of course, myself and my co-host on the main CBC podcast, Mitch, have both speculated that this is secretly going to be an MCU film, considering nobody is outright coming out and saying no, it's not a part of that continuity. Well, the latest news might just hint exactly to that. On a recent podcast, Jon Schnepp, who is known as one of these scoopers who has some pretty reliable sources and works somewhat in Hollywood close to some people, he definitely has sort of an in. And he says, and I quote, "I'm going to say it right here on this show. Spider-Man is going to be in Venom." And when he was specifically asked if this is just some sort of cameo or something like that, he hinted that it's exactly what you would think, a somewhat more expanded role. And then when he specifically got asked on which iteration of Spider-Man, he goes on and says, "I'm talking about Tom Holland's Spider-Man. He's going to be in Venom." Now, of course, as always, take this with a grain of salt, guys, but if somebody's going out there and putting their reputation out there, there's got to be something semi-true to it, specifically if they're known and respectable in the community. They're not going to be an El Mayimbe where he comes out there and makes absurd claims, and then when they don't end up happening, he goes, "No, they knew I was onto them, so they changed the entire universe." That's not how this works. So now, what exactly does the future hold for the web crawler? Well, as we've said before, you really shouldn't do a Venom movie without Spider-Man. It just doesn't make sense. Now, if you're not using Spider-Man as a main character who first has the black symbiote, how exactly do you deal with this, and how do you tie the character in just briefly so those symbiote aspects are brought over? You know, it doesn't make sense to me, but maybe just like the MCU has done, they're finding a different way to be able to tell that aspect of the story, which is honestly what I'm hopeful about, because to me, Spider-Man and Venom go together. They're like peanut butter and jelly. They're like yin and yang, right? You have to use them. So if you're not going to have them together, then you don't have Venom. So it's pointless.